Hello everyone, what's good? Welcome to Vasquez Fields. This is the recap build series of the PS5 Planet Coaster Park that we've been building out live over on Twitch for the last 5 months. 6 months. It's been quite a ride. But today we're gonna do a full tour of the park. It's just gonna be very organic and real. So it's going to be very different than the spotlight videos that you're used to seeing, all the park tour videos that you see from all the other great Planet Coaster creators out there in the YouTubes. But I thought that I would do this and make it be a little bit more me. So I hope that's fun. But yeah, let's just get into it. This is Vasquez Fields. We're going to walk up this path here. Started out the park with the whole entrance, park layout, park design, in this parking lot, which is all just terrain paint. You can like see the line there. And I put more cars in towards the end. That one is sunk into the ground, apparently. A lot of them are. So we'll fix that at a later time. But the vibes out here are even great. This just like gives you immediately that sort of Southern California vibe. Could be like Arizona, could just, anywhere kind of in the Southwest. Sunny, some palm trees. And then you can walk up here and we have our whole sort of entrance area. Lots of little details over here. Heavily based off of Knott's Berry Farm. If you look at photos of Knott's Berry Farm's entrance, it looks exactly like this. Because I am super original. And also because it is much easier to build in this game if you're looking at reference photos and just copying it. Because I'm not an architect. I'm just a guy who designs stuff in video games. We also have a guest services little building over here. It's one of the first things built. So the details in here are like still pretty good, but this is what I mean of like in the front of the park, fair amount of details. As you get towards the back of the park, lots of details. Also up here at the front is our first staff room. And there's a little bit of fencing and such to keep you away from this coaster, but also to keep you from sneaking around the side, sneaking into the park. So there's like this extra like backstage sort of thing going on back here. Fences that they could move out of the way though, because this would likely be used for like truck access in the off season to be able to drive right in here. Let's go into the park. We're sprinting. Let's go. Here it is. Here is Main Street. Get our little cowboy guy that's always greeting you when you walk in. And we have this little market. A lot of our builds are heavily inspired by Red Dead Redemption. So our entire Main Street is like very much Saint Denis vibes. A lot of like Western music, and I added like the Western like ambiance, like a old Western town sound to Main Street. Yeah, just a whole kind of like little market over here. The lights above. Obviously a lot of shops on Main Street. We have our Street Fox coffee here. Custom interior with stools. Interiors over here for our gift shop as well. A lot of stuff from the workshop. A lot of great creators that made some of these like poster boards and such. I just did like the designs on the bottom to sort of blend them into the place. Same thing with the shirts. Those are custom made by other folks. I just changed the racks that they're on and such. And then you can come next door to get a taco at Maxilente. Another great workshop item. This whole like soft drink and condiment station. Little bit of decoration in there. The boiler was the first ride that we built. Let's go check that one out real quick. Gonna walk through here. I did a lot of steps, a lot of custom steps when I first started the park. They're not super easy. So, This is supposed to look like kind of like an old West state house mixed with like an old West warehouse. And then, you know, just this big hunk of metal in the warehouse that flips around. And then back here, see if we can sneak under the ride. Heck yeah. All this extra sort of scenery to just make it feel like a big warehouse. Lots going on in here. But you can't see any of this unless you come on the ride. And then a little bit of extra touch of like lighting and such. A lot of our lighting in the park is like built to be realistic, so it's on scaffolding and whatnot. And then we have our track ride, which I wanted to be an open air concept. I wanted like another ride over here, akin to the boiler. But I didn't want just like another building, because I didn't want to just like fill more of our skyline up. I didn't want to like have you walk down Main Street and just be surrounded by buildings and like overwhelmed by all that. And of course, this is Planet Coaster, so it's a track ride, and the line is actually pretty short right now. But usually there's 9,000 people in line for this. So we'll just zoom past all these people. Built all these like custom sun coverings, which I think look awesome. Bickford Ranch is what I ended up naming it. Look at all like the little details that I did on this one though. This one came out so good. I'm a big fan of this one. Super chill. We're just gonna walk around out here because I own the place. Deal with it. Built this like Bickford rail that I came up with like a whole kind of lore of this like track ride thing, because that's usually what they do for the kids rides. It's like there's a story to it. And I wanted cars, and I wanted to justify having the cars in a old West town. So it's like these are the first cars made. This used to be a saddle ranch, so they went from horses to rail. That's why there's the Bickford rail over here to cars. And then like the saloon, also heavily based off of Red Dead Redemption. You can probably find the saloon in the game. But I designed it to be very family friendly. Can't really have bars in this game. It's always filled with trash. I think it's kind of hard for people to move around in here, so I don't think the janitors come here. I don't really know why. Something weird about the entrance. We can come here and get slushies. There is roof access because there's seating up there. It's not actually like accessible in game though by our guest. And then milkshakes. So it's like, you know, kids drinks. Come to the saloon and get your kids some sugar. Now let's check out Invasion. The first roller coaster we built in the park. And this is the first thing that I built that like really started to incorporate some of the sci-fi elements of the park, which is why it's called Invasion. It's supposed to be like the landing point of the aliens that have invaded our area. We're gonna hop some fences here. Excuse me, all. So there's like this old West church in the park. And over there, a crash happened into this church. There's an entire interior for the church that you walk through as part of the queue line. And then you come back out of there, come around the back side of the church, up these stairs, into the ride, and onto the coaster. But in here is the crashed spaceship. Just sticking in there for you to see. Let's ride it. come out of the exit, and then you get this whole like view of the ride. It's kind of cool. Makes you want to go back on it. I think I missed the trash entirely. It's enticing, right? Makes you want to go back on the ride. And then you come down here and you get the ride photos. Look at... Hey guys, you should probably split up. What's going on here? Can you guys just not like decide who should work where, and that's what's going on here? We'll come along this way, check out our new shops. Do a little bit of ice cream action. Sort of the classic setup of ice cream windows, like order and then grab your orders on the side. Got a little clothes shop. Because, I don't know, they don't have use for it right now. A little candy shop action. Small interior going on in here. A little more quiet over this way. Kind of designed nicely. You always need like the parts of your park that are just like areas for you to breathe. You know? And over here you can kind of just chill out a little bit, hit a restroom. Come walk along here, see some scenery. There's a lot of litter going on back here, huh? Check out the little pond area. All this foliage going on, this well. Spitting water out. And you come up to the towers. Hands down, still like my favorite area of the park. Be able to come over here. This big billboard. Fully custom designed and kind of vintage looking. This whole seating area, you come over here to the food court, get some pizza and a water. Sit down, enjoy a little show at our gazebo. Watch the towers up in the background. And then you can turn around this way and see a coaster whipping around over your head. Pretty hot, not gonna lie. Go from shops to more shops. And come back here to these line of shops. Along with our restaurant, affectionately named Ralph's, after our local grocer. Come get a churro. Or some balloons, which seem to be a hit right now, which is great. All these shops kind of just seem together. They're all different buildings, but they're wall to wall. Have their own little character to them. Super cozy back here. I love it. We have these custom benches on the patio for the restaurant. This is the backstage area, actually. We can sneak in here. Because I have the keys to it, you know? So this is the whole transfer track. Some details back here. It shares the same backstage area as our dark ride. It's kind of all a bunch of little clutter things back here. See if we can sneak up this way. And not get stuck. We're probably going to get stuck. You can check out the entire interior of the transfer track, though. All little details on here. This was copied entirely from another great creator on console that's recreating parks that were originally made on PC that have hyper-realism from Nerdchacho and Moom and Little Socks, and kind of ported over to this. And I borrowed a lot of the design and then just kind of made it fit to the theme of the ride and built our own building for it. So big ups to Guitar Freak for that. Because I don't understand the inner workings of transfer tracks as much as they do, so it was great to sort of learn more about it by rebuilding theirs. I've got like the little, I don't know if I already said this, but the staff building back here. Kind of blended into the park. This is access for trucks and stuff to come through here. It's one of our like back road accesses. One of the main ways into the park for maintenance trucks and shipment trucks and whatnot. And then Area 11. Affectionately named after me. is our sci-fi area, which is the last thing that we got added into the park. This is supposed to kind of look like a desert area with like old West buildings that was taken over by the aliens after the invasion. So we have all these shops that are kind of fusion of sci-fi and Western, if you will. Plus our big, very popular new attraction, the last ride.
Oh.
Kappa. Lots of cool little details over here just to sort of sell the sci-fi theme though. Plus some like cool scenery. I love doing this sort of stair next to the ramp design. Just something I kind of wanted to play around with. And then do all my custom curbs and foliage and whatnot to just sort of mask it and make it look all purdy. Safe voyage. Another sort of chill building back here with staff room and restrooms. And then like a little spot to grab some extra drinks. Even though guests are still just constantly thirsty in this game. And this is another one of the main ways into the park. So let's actually like wander out of the park a little bit here. Because over here, across the street, make sure nobody's coming. Okay. Is our whole backstage area. So this is where all the stuff would get shipped in. This is our whole like maintenance warehouse, probably. Shipping warehouse. There's a whole loading dock and everything. The stuff could get sent here, loaded up, worked on. Parts of the roller coasters and stuff get sent over here. It's all kind of separated from the park though, and they clearly just like took over some big plot of land, bought it out to own all of this, to be able to build all of this. So a bunch of stuff just kind of tossed up back here. I did this thing where I kind of just threw a bunch of Halloween decorations back here because this would probably be one of those parks that would do like a Halloween season where the park would get like a makeover to make it scary or make it spoopy for the season, which still might happen. Like if I'm going to return to this game for anything anytime soon, it might be in October to turn Vasquez Fields into scary Vasquez Fields. So I don't know. Y'all are into that idea. Maybe. It's possible. And then these would probably be like staff buildings and such. With additional storage space for probably like smaller supplies and stuff that go back in the park. So let's go around this way now. Actually, no. Let's go over this way. Here's Ridgeside Gifts, which is a cool little gift shop. Come in here and get some popcorn, some gifts, and this is where our hat shop is. Where I have made it so that you can only really buy a sci-fi helmet or a cowboy hat. Because I don't want you wearing any of those other weird, stupid things that this place sells. Here? Great. So, here is the Battle of Vasquez Ridge, our dark ride. Full sort of queue line design. Once you're in this building, you are in a whole different world. The theme is supposed to be that it's like mining town. That's what this whole like outside area is. And it's a mine that got some signs of alien life have started to pop up. Or unexplainable things have begun to happen in the caves. And they're pulling out weird pieces of metal like this that they've never seen before. And this is like the pre-show area section of the queue line. So essentially you would come in here, see some sort of like video package on these screens before actually getting into the ride, which is over here. So yeah, you would come out of the ride, see the gift shop. Now let's go kind of back towards the front of the park. Walking around along this side, you get a little view of the track ride over there. Mostly just like scenery over here. It's another sort of part of the park where you just get to breathe a little bit. It's very chill over here. Just trees and nice scenery, some flowers. And then over here is like probably the first ride that would have been in Vasquez Fields. Like when they initially came up with the idea for having this old west town, and then they were like, let's add some rides. How about a carousel? So that probably just gets moved around and maintained and cleaned a whole bunch. So they stash it kind of over here. Once they start to get cooler rides like roller coasters and stuff. And then this is just supposed to look like a building, but this does act as just a wall, essentially, with some details on it. So it kind of creates the ambiance for the park, continues with the theme, but really in the off season, they would be able to shuffle this right out of the way because it's actually just a wall hiding this backstage area. And trucks would be able to drive into here to like drop off shipments. This is the backside of some of the Main Street shops. And they could like stash stuff back here. That's why there's like random pieces of boxes and pallets and VF. I wonder what that is. And that brings you right back around to the front of the park, though. Plenty of little details over there as well. We're going to continue on past the entrance, though. Past Main Street, which we've seen already. And head towards our coaster. Over this way is our RMC Hybrid coaster. This is the trail shop, which we'll hit on the way out. Get on the ride first. We also have this ride, though. Just another sort of carnival ride that they've probably had for a long time, have moved around, but plenty of little path coverings and details. This one has to blend into the theme of both the forestry area and the Main Street sort of market warehouse vibes, like the industrial area sort of thing over there. And then this whole area is supposed to be like kind of foresty, so it had to be like a blend of the two. And I think we pulled that off. It's like a lot of wood, little pieces of metal as well, though. So that's cool. And then over here, we'll just kind of go over here before we get on the ride, because this is something you usually do, right? You kind of just like walk through the park, and if you see a ride, you're like, oh, let's go check it out from like different angles and see like if it looks too scary. On this one, you actually get to like see a lot of the ride. This is the whole ride sign. You can see the ride kind of go over there. They go under the path, come up along you, whip around behind you. And then they actually come up over here too. So just by walking by the coaster, especially if you're like coming from that way probably, you get to see a whole lot. And then you probably see that and you're like, whoa, that's hype. Let's ride that. So let's do that. Let's ride that. And queue area over here. Put all these little tree stumps. Camping areas. And this is supposed to be a lodge. Out in the woods. But still like the time period of like the Old West. And you come in here and there's antlers on the wall. There's a whole little fireplace. Nice and cozy in here. Walk up this pathway. A whole bunch of little details kind of scattered around. Still elements of our Western, though. Ride right up on in here, and then we're going to ride Hostile Run. So then, yeah, you come out of there, hit this whole sort of exit. And you come in through the gift shop as you're exiting the ride. Some more of those poster boards that I talked about earlier. Another slushy station for some drinks that people can grab, and then you can grab a little, just a memento gift on the way out. You'll probably be able to buy like gifts here, memorabilia, but also ride photos in there, and you could probably just do like this is supposed to be the ride photo print station for quick access to just be able to grab one and go. I think that's it. So if you have stuck around for this entire video, you are an absolute champion. I hope that was enjoyable. I hope you guys liked that a lot. That was super fun to do. So yeah, Vasquez Fields really means a lot to me. It was incredible to build this park. It's a major accomplishment. It's a lot. I absolutely respect everybody that does this on a regular basis and just builds park after park after park, or builds massive parks. Or super fun though. I love this game to death. It's definitely going to be forever one of my favorite games to ever get created. I hope there's a sequel someday, because I don't really have an itch, at least right now, to return to this game to play it again and to create another park, but a sequel could definitely spawn that. Or some sort of other miracle. We'll see. Plenty more to come in the future though. I hope you like this style of video. Let me know in the comments if this is your jam, if seeing more of my face is a thing that you are into, if you're like vibing the personality, the tone of voice, all that kind of fun stuff. Because yeah, I have plans to do some other stuff. If you like video games or TV or film or whatever, then great, stick around. There's going to be a lot more cool stuff to come. If you are strictly a Planet Coaster person, I love you, but I'm sorry. Anyways, take care everyone, be good to yourselves, and I will see you on the next one.